And welcome to Just One More Watch. And welcome today to a review and triple giveaway of the latest release by Signum watches. Signum is the sister brand of Stratham watches and owned by the same man, Kyle. Now, Kyle is always super generous when it comes to these giveaways. He's got a brand new field watch, the Signum Siege. It launched just last month, and he has discounted launch special pricing available until the 15th of July. You can save $100 off the RRP of the entire Siege range. Now, you are probably already familiar with Signum, or at least you will be if you watch my Loom Wars series. Their CUDA in titanium killed Loom Wars. The loom on this watch is insane, unlike anything I've ever seen. It wiped the floor with the competition in Loom Wars 11. I then gathered a whole bunch of watches for Loom Wars 12, and it wiped the floor with them all again. So I have given up. The game is over. No more Loom Wars. So we know we can expect pretty good loom from these field watches today then, and also some outrageous dial coverings including red mother of pearl, blue copper turquoise, and a heat-treated meteorite that is deep purple. Now you saw the pop-up? Giveaways equals sponsored video, and this video is sponsored by Signum. Kyle sent me 4 watches, I get to keep one, and I get to give the other 3 away. We also know that giveaways equals scammers. You should all be wise to them by now though. They'll ask you to telegram them or text them or WhatsApp them or something. They won't sound like me, and then they will ask you for money, something I will never do, so stay sharp, don't get scammed. What do you have to do to win one of these watches then? Let's flip the camera and find out. So then, if these ones are all about the dials, we should look at the dials, shouldn't we? Prices on these vary from $499 US up to $569 US depending on the dial material chosen. I will of course leave a link in the description to help you with your own research. Kyle calls this a playful field watch. The canvas straps may be drab green, but the dials, as you can see, are anything but. This is the red mother of pearl. It definitely needs a little bit of light or perhaps a little bit of movement to get the best of it. It really pops in bright sunlight, for example. This is the blue copper turquoise. Of course, every single one of these watches is going to be a bit different from every single other one of these watches. This is a slice of naturally occurring mineral. The patterning is unique, therefore, to every individual dial. This is the heat-treated meteorite, giving the watch a rich purple hue. Again, you can see the patterning of this one, especially when I go in super close with the macro lens. And finally, this is the full loom dial. It almost looks slightly sensible in this company, but let me assure you, when you turn the lights off, it's anything but sensible. All 4 watches feature the same brushed silver handset, though I must admit their legibility depends on the dial colour. The darker the dial, the more legible it appears, with the full loom therefore being the least legible of the bunch. Playful is definitely the word though. I don't think this is the type of field watch you wear if you shop regularly at an army surplus store, put it that way. There are plenty of more conventional and more sensible options to be had from other brands if you want a more military look. You go for one of these if you want something hard-wearing, rugged and robust, but also bright and colourful. So the dials may be different between models, but the dimensions are the same, those being 40mm in diameter, only 10.8mm thick. Lug to lug of 49 is relatively large but still wearable. A gap of 20mm between the lugs is what you'd expect from a 40, and on the supplied canvas 2-piece strap they weigh in at just under 80 grams. Crystal is boxed double dome sapphire. The crown screws down, helping give 100 meters of water resistance, and perhaps you guessed already, given how slim this thing is, despite the boxed sapphire, the movement is a Miyota 9015. You can't see it though because the watch features a stainless steel screw-on caseback with a picture of a grinning canine creature in a military helmet. Yes, there's playful and then there's that. Anyway, the usual spec sheet advertising the sapphire and the water resistance and the case material, which is stainless steel. But not just any stainless steel, it is a sandblasted stainless steel with a scratch resistant coating applied to it. This finish is true to its field watch roots. It's not going to catch the light and it's not going to show up scratches and scuffs. It's a very simple case with a reasonable downturn at the lugs, helping offset that 49mm length. I measured the crown at 6mm, it's unguarded and has a huge amount of grip, so it's very easy to operate. It's also inlaid with a fully loomed Signum logo, which I will show you later. All dials feature applied indices, a triangle and a rectangle at the 12, 3 and 9, and circles everywhere else. Beyond those indices is effectively a flat chapter ring with 1 to 12 numerals and minute markers. Now, unlike the hands, which are brushed, the indices surrounds are polished silver. The Signum logo is printed under the 12 and automatic breaks up the space beneath the pinion, also being printed a white above the date frame at 6. I always like a 6 o'clock date to help keep things symmetrical. Hands are large and well proportioned segmented swords with a tiny bit of colour on the paddle tip of the second hand. I don't really think the watch is lacking in colour, do you? By day or by night, there is a ton of BGW9 in both the chapter ring and the indices and the hands and the date wheel on the mineral dial models, one of which is on the left. On the right is the full loom with two different colours used, a bright orange chapter ring and BGW9 for the main section of the dial. When I turn the speed up on these, they do fade a little, but they are still ridiculously bright at the end of my test. Kyle seems to have gone out of his way to make Signum watches the brightest loomed watches you can buy. And that includes the crown too. And it's a pretty simple watch that wears fairly unobtrusively. Well, apart from the brightly coloured dials, that is. Not too big, not too small, and if you go for one of the dark dialed variants, nicely legible from most angles. I wouldn't describe these as strap monsters though. The dials are so intense that I think you have to be careful what you pair with them, which is I guess why Kyle has supplied them on a very plain canvas number. And 80 grams is a good weight for something like this, light enough to be comfortable, but heavy enough not to feel flimsy. Moans and niggles, just because this is a triple giveaway doesn't mean to say it's not a review. Well, it may be a field watch, but if you are wearing one of these during a military exercise, you may well end up getting shot. It's a field watch that in some ways is the antithesis of a field watch. They're bright, they're in your face, they're designed to catch and play with the light, so yeah, you're going to have to reconcile that paradox for yourself if you want one of these. And that canvas strap is stiff AF. They make those old Seiko straps on the Seiko 5 field watches look positively malleable by comparison. I'm sure they'll break in over time, but I'm not sure everyone will have the patience to allow them to break in over time. It's a shame because they're quick release and the hardware is quite nice. And then there's the price, from $499 USD to $569 USD, and that's the launch price until the middle of the month, and then they start at $599 USD to $659 USD. That is definitely getting up there. This is an admittedly coated but very simple 316L case. It doesn't have a moving bezel, it doesn't have a display case back, and it doesn't come on a bracelet, and it's not Swiss made. Now, I also admit it features a Miyota 9000 high beat auto rather than the Seiko NH30 series 3Hz movements that have featured in the vast majority of the Signum range to this point, but even still, it's definitely getting up there in terms of cost. I think Signum's biggest competition for this model therefore comes from Signum. Other Signum watches, if I was looking at one of these at $499, I would also have a good look through the rest of their range and see if there was something similar, but perhaps for a little less money. For example, I would have a good look at their titanium GMT dive watch on a full titanium bracelet, which when you apply the 5% discount code comes in at $25 less. I would have a good think about which watch therefore offered me better value for money. So there you have it, a field watch you definitely don't want to wear in a field unless that field is in Glastonbury or something like that. Outrageous dials, outrageous loom, but the pricing is getting up there for a steel watch on a canvas strap. But three of you won't have to worry about the price because you'll be getting them for free. What do you have to do? Well, it's a subscriber giveaway, so if you're not already a subscriber of the channel, then do us both a favour and hit the big button that says subscribe on it. Then wander over to the Signum website, scroll down to the bottom of any page and sign up for their newsletter. You will then get advanced knowledge of all the latest releases at the best prices. Once you've done that, come back to this video, leave me a comment, any comment, it doesn't really matter. In exactly 1 week's time, 7 days from the launch of this video, I will scroll down, pick a comment at random and pin that comment, letting you know that you are the first lucky winner and you are to contact me by email, jody@justonemorewatch.com. Once the first winner is sorted out, I will then pick a second winner, pin that comment and repeat the process until we have 3 lucky winners who each win one of the actual watches featured in the video posted from Sydney by my own fair hand. I'll say it again, beware of the scammers. I've told you exactly what the process is. If you get a comment from somebody asking you to WhatsApp them or Telegram them or something, that's not me, is it? That's a scammer. You're welcome to have fun with them, but just don't give them your bank details. That's all for today. Good luck to all in the giveaway. Thanks for making it all the way to the end of the video. While you're here, why not watch another one by Signum here or here. Thanks again. See you soon.